Before we began, Cindy and I prepared all the ingredients we were going to use. We opened the cans and drained and rinsed our beans. We took our sausage out of its casings and crumbled it, prepared our ground turkey and ground beef, as well as chopped our tomatoes, our olives, our onions, and the garlic that we're going to use. We even have pre-squeezed our lemon juice. We're ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is to take our diced onions off of what we call a bench scoop and move them over to the pot and put them into the medium hot oil. The trick to cooking onions is to keep them turning continually. Keep the heat on medium-low, and also do not let them brown. You're cooking them until you can get a good translucent color and the onions themselves are soft. We do not want to brown these onions. The onions are going to take about 8 to 10 minutes in all. About every 2 to 3 minutes, continue to stir the onions so that they cook evenly through and through. Once they're done cooking, turn off the heat and remove the pot from the burner. While the onions are cooking, we can start to prepare the meats. We're going to brown the meats each separately and then set aside for the chili to be added later. I'm starting with the sausage that has already been taken out of the casing and has been crumbled. We're going to cook it for about 10 to 12 minutes. While it's cooking, about every 2 minutes, continue to break the sausage into small, bite-sized pieces. Another reason why we're starting with the sausage is because the sausage already has some inherent fat contained in it. We will use that fat to cook the remainder of the meat after we're done with the sausage itself. Let's check our onions. It's been about 6 minutes. They're looking very nice. I'm going to turn off the heat here and remove the onions until later when we will use them again. It's been about 10 minutes. The sausage is all nice, lightly browned, and it's ready to be strained using my super duper mini strainer into the bowl, which I'm going to set aside. I have also already drained most of the fat or grease from the sausage out of the pan, leaving about 1 to 2 tablespoons, your preference, of oil on the bottom of the pan to support the sauteing of the next meats. We are now going to add our ground beef to the sausage oil, and again we're going to cook this using our wooden spoon. We're going to cook this over a medium heat, again for about 8 to 10 minutes. We're going to stir it approximately every 2 to 3 minutes until it is lightly browned on all sides.
That's good.
So the ground beef and the ground turkey is also done. We're going to use our scooper, and one thing I wanted to show you today is how you can use 2 hands to slide the meat into the small drain or colander, if you'd like, hand colander. Not sure exactly what this tool is called, but it's something I use almost daily in my kitchen. So after we've drained this meat, we're going to return to the stove and take the next step, which is creating the paste roux. So our meats are all browned and are setting aside, waiting to be popped into the chili at a later time. I've now put on our low-medium heat again. I've returned the onions to the heat, and now I'm going to put in our spices so they can start, and the aromas can start to blend and cook at a heat all by themselves, which helps to bring out the taste of the spices in your cooking. So I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of oregano, 2 tablespoons of basil. I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of cumin and you can put in, depending on your taste, 4 to 6 tablespoons or even more of chili powder. In our family, we like a lot of chili powder, so I'm going to put in the whole 6 tablespoons of chili powder for this big batch of chili. Later on in the process, we will double check that to make sure the spices are to our tastes. I'm also going to put in 2 teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of pepper to start. We are then going to stir in the spices until they're well incorporated into the onions. And then we're going to pause for a moment and let them cook for 2 minutes. So the spices have cooked for about 2 minutes, and I've also added the tomato paste and spread the tomato paste all in so that it is all smoothly and well covered. I am now going to slowly add the wine, and as the wine is added, I will continue to stir the mixture until we get a nice, thick, red, chili-based sauce, from which we can now add all of the rest of our ingredients and start to cook up our chili for a crowd. I'll continue to stir it until everything is well blended, and at that point, we're ready to finish our chili. So I'm now going to scatter in the garlic. I'm putting it in now, but I just want to point out you could have put it in after with the paste. The important thing is to put the garlic in at a time where it's not over a high heat and it is not going to cook for a long time and it is not going to brown. We just want it to cook long enough, and we're going to let that happen for about another 30 seconds until we can smell the aroma of the garlic. One thing we want to make sure we never do is actually brown the garlic. That would not be a good thing or a good taste. The next thing we're going to do is we put in the wine, but one of the other secret ingredients of this chili is lemon juice. Yes, I did. I said lemon juice in chili. We're going to put 4 tablespoons of lemon juice in there, not worrying if we get a little bit of extra in, to continue to create some liquid in which all of our meats and beans and olives and tomatoes are going to live. The next things we're going to do is now it's finally time for the 3 beans to pop into the sauce. So we're going to add our black beans, our garbanzo beans, our pinto beans, and if you like other beans and want to substitute them, feel free to do so. These are our favorite beans to put in our chili. We're also going to put in our olives, our tomatoes, and last but not least, and boy, this is starting to look like a big pot of chili for a big crowd, isn't it? Is our meat. One thing I might want to mention is in our family, everyone doesn't like olives. So one thing that we do in our family is that we might separate our chili into 2 batches before the olives are added, and then have a chili with olives and a chili without. So our chili is ready to cook. All of the yummy ingredients are in the pot. We're going to turn the heat up to medium, and we're going to now set the timer for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on your stove heat. In 30 minutes, you're going to see that these tomatoes, because we used fresh tomatoes, remember you could have used diced tomatoes from a can, but the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes, since it's that time of year where you have many inexpensive cook level tomatoes at your farmer's market, these were tomatoes at the farmer's market, and as they cook over the next 30 minutes, you're going to start to see more and more juices coming into your chili. When the chili's ready to serve, which will be in about 30 minutes, you can serve it hot in a bowl, as you would a bowl of soup, or you can serve it on a bed of brown or white rice. In our family, we love our chili over rice.